What is going on YouTube? Justin here, aka Goofy Skating Lifestyle, back at it again with another truck video. Today, I've got you guys in the head mount, just to make it easier. Y'all can see it in POV view. Let's go into the truck and I'll explain more. Got the keys. Every time I look at this thing, it makes me horny. Alright, let's hop in this beast. Oh, she's horny too, don't get me wrong. Anyway, hopefully the camera's adjusted properly. So, I'm going to be doing a little work on the cluster today. I'll set this to the side here, and I'll explain why. You turn on the lights. This works again. Did that off camera, put some LEDs back there. These 1, 2, and 3 lights behind the cluster are no longer working. So in order for that to work, I'm going to take this bezel off, take the gauge cluster out, and I'm going to be replacing it with some LEDs from Complete Performance that should be coming in shortly. But I'm going to get started on taking everything apart, taking this bezel off carefully, replacing this fuel switch, the auxiliary switch. I believe that's what's going bad and why this is not reading properly. If it's not this, I want to replace this anyway, since I'm going to have the bezel off, and I haven't had the bezel off. And I think it's been a year or two, so this auxiliary switch will go bad at some point soon anyway. Good to replace that. If it's not this though, back to that, it's probably a fuel tank selector valve, which is under the truck by the tanks. If it's not that, it would be inside the fuel tanks itself. There is a little arm that measures the fuel by the fuel pump, and that arm in the front tank might have sunk all the way down and gotten stuck, which would actually, that would make a lot of sense, because before I did the 2-inch extension on the drive shaft, you could see the drive shaft hit here when it drops from here, and I got stranded on 66 towing a trailer back in high school, and that's been there ever since. So tank still works fine and it doesn't leak. But it always worked, that needle gauge always worked until like a couple weeks ago. So it shouldn't be that issue, but I just thought that was funny. They were brand new tanks we put in, and yeah, nothing else left to do but hop back in the truck and get started. Alright guys, in order to take this bezel off, put the steering wheel down. I'm going to take this off, and we'll get back in here with this after. There's one little Allen there. I'm gonna pop this off. Pop this off real quick. And there's an Allen key here. I'm gonna start by unscrewing these Allen keys like so. Need to download the GoPro app so that I can see what the GoPro looks like from my phone. The only problem with the GoPro app is it makes you want to pay like, I think 49 bucks a month or something, so you can see it from your phone. And that's kind of silly, because I don't really have $49 to pay right now, or spend. I don't really have that kind of money around. So I'll just have to eyeball the camera angle on my head, like I always do, and hope for the best. Oh yeah, also, I'll show you guys that when it's time. There's a couple clips back there. You gotta be very careful with these bezel pieces. They are very fragile. You don't want to break them. If you break them, they're like 150 bucks, I believe, or something like that. So gotta be very, very gentle when pulling this off. not break it. Okay, we got lucky. I believe we didn't. Let me hope for the best. Back here, there's a little clip for the diesel wait to start light. And then there's also one, sure, hit the camera. There's also the clip back here for the auxiliary that we're going to be switching out. Thankfully, I did not break those clips. Got lucky there. Let me get out here. Oh, we dropped the Allen. I'll grab the Allen key in a minute. And get a flathead screwdriver. Pry that auxiliary off. There we go. Just like so. And the bezel comes out. Now that we've got the bezel out, I'm going to go ahead and replace the auxiliary while we're at it. And we'll come back in the cab and take the gauge cluster out. There the Allen key is. I found the Allen key. Set the bezel down just for a second. Grab the other auxiliary. Let's head into the garage. Swap out the auxiliary real quick. It's 2 Phillips, isn't it? Yes, it is 2 Phillips. We're gonna go inside the house and do this. Make it a lot easier. And grab the Phillips screwdriver. Wherever I put it, it's a mess in here. I gotta really clean this up. I had it in here somewhere. Alright, let me get the Phillips and we'll go inside and do this. Oh, what do you know? UPS is here. Perfect timing. This should be my package for the truck from Complete Performance Diesels. Wait and see. How you doing? You good with being on camera? You good with being on camera? Cool, I'm actually making a video for it right now.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool,
yeah, you too. Thank you. All right. Had to block the address on there. That is the lights for the gauge cluster. Let's go ahead back inside and finish up the auxiliary. Alright, found the Phillips head that I wanted a specific one. Can't go wrong with Costco's coconut water. It's one of my favorites. My favorite comfort, soothing drink. Yes. It just soothes my autism perfectly. It drives my autistic brain insane. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the membrane. Alright. Old auxiliary. Haven't shown you guys the new auxiliary yet. Same thing, just brand new. So go ahead, put those 2 Phillips back in there. Just like so. Super simple. What's nice about this truck is it is so darn easy to work on. Can't go wrong with these old Fords, you know, they're just so reliable and super easy to maintain. One of the easiest diesels to maintain, in my opinion, is these mechanical Fords. There's just something about them too, you know, you don't see them every day around here, at least where I'm from. Alright, we can save this one for a backup, it'll always come in handy. Back outside. Actually, believe it or not, we don't only have one, but we have 2 backup auxiliary fuel units now. So I had this one. I believe this one might be broken actually. That might be why I swapped that one out, but now we have 2 to mess with. once this one would go bad, if it ever does, back into the cab. I'll unbox the LEDs once we get the cluster out, and back into the house. We're going to do the lights in the house, it'll be easier. Am I sitting on it? Or did I put the oh, hold on, I'm gonna go have to go find that Allen key, because I need that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, couldn't find the Allen key, but I've got a 7mm ratchet here, which also will be able to take off and reinstall the gauge cluster and the bezel, which is nice. Allen key or this comes in handy. I could not tell you which it's like T20? I can't remember what size Allen key that is, to be honest, but use my magnet to draw these out. It's just 4 little Allen keys, or Allen keys, or 7mm sockets, easily accessible. I believe this works for the 150, 250, 350, and Ford Broncos. I believe they're all very similar style, if not almost near the exact same thing, because that bezel I bought will also adapt to a 150, I believe 250 and 350, except for the diesel light. I think the 150s are a little different, and so are the Broncos, obviously, because the Broncos did not come in diesel. But I mean, they're basically the same thing. You just have to cut the 150 a piece off of the 151 in order to plug in and adapt the diesel light. Because I remember before I purchased that newer bezel that you guys saw me remove, there was a 150 bezel that I was using, and I just cut the bezel in that spot where the waits to start light and water and fuel light is, and that's how I used it. Now for this, drop the steering wheel once again. Got to be very careful. This is a rebuilt cluster, by the way. So there's a couple plugs back here that you do not want to mess up and destroy. We're going to take those plugs off very carefully, just like so. Do not want to damage these. If you damage these, you're cooked. So be very gentle when removing them, and very careful with the cluster in general, because this back piece cannot get messed up. Now that we've got it off, we're going to go inside and replace all of the lights with LEDs. So instead of green, I will show you guys in the nighttime what color I chose. I'm very, very excited for this color. There's a couple color options that you could choose from. Like I said, I'll explain further once it's nighttime, and I'll be able to share that with you guys. Alright, why don't I go ahead and open this box, or package, shall we? Carefully. Let me get scissors. Be sure I do not dox myself. And cut the light bulbs. Light bulbs are very fragile. Alright, so these are the LEDs here. Put on this bubble wrap. So to replace these, it's very simple. Twist and pull. We'll go ahead and just take them all out. Twist and pull, twist and pull. Very fragile, very careful, very careful. You can already see this one's burnt out. You can see which ones are burnt out, literally. That one's burnt out. See the burn on them. These were like brand new like a year ago too. I turn on my headlights every time I drive, so that would make a lot of sense. And be very careful not to touch these a certain way. And go on just like so. Boom. So that's what they're going to look like when you install them. It's literally just a press down, just like that. You want to be careful, very fragile. Make sure they're pushed down all the way as well, because if you don't push them down all the way, you're also cooked. They will not turn on. So you want to make sure that they're pushed down all the way gently though. You do not want to break them, of course. This one's being a little booger. Some of them are very tight on there. Go back to that one last. Very easy process. I don't think there's a certain way to put them on. I believe they can go on either way. If they don't work when you put them on the way that I'm putting them on now, you could flip them around and sometimes that'll trigger them to turn on. So again, it doesn't come with instructions, so I actually don't think it's a problem. We'll just have to find out and see. If I have to take it all the way back off and see if they work again, it's not the end of the world to me at all. So if I have to take it back off, I mean, we'll be testing it without the bezel on for that reason. And I'll take it on a little night cruise with you guys. I am really, really, really excited to see what they look like. There we go. There it is. Came out. Woo! That one was tricky. That was being a little pain in the butt. Some of them are on there really tight, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you know, a little harder to get on and off. Makes the video a little longer. I was gonna do some of these off camera, but I figured since I've got you guys on the head mount this time around, and I'm really enjoying making the POV content, I'm starting to consider maybe just doing these in POV. I don't know. We'll see. I'm really, it's making it a lot easier on me, and also, in my opinion, looks a lot cooler, and you can actually kind of get, not in my shoes, but you can kind of get the picture of what it's like to do this in like point of view action. It's even cooler. So we're gonna go ahead, twist these babies back on just like so. So very, very easy process if you know what you're doing and you're good with your hands. All of the lights that come in this kit are the same for all of it. They're not like specific sizes. It's all I believe 194 mini bulbs. 194 mini bulbs. If I stand correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to link the bulbs in the description. They are a little pricier than you would expect them to be, but I mean, they're LEDs, so you know, hopefully we're getting what we pay for here, and they last a little while. I'd be kind of a little butthurt and upset if they don't last, but you know, you win some, you lose some. I was wanting to pay the price that these were worth than cheaping out and having them burn out quicker. So you gotta pay the price sometimes. Alright, it's good there. I'm going to be wiping this off real quick, and then we'll go into the truck. It's really dirty in there, so we're going to clean that up and then we'll throw that back in. A little bit of a Lysol wipe wouldn't hurt it. Really dirty. Be sure not to touch the Lysol on the backing. Just around it, and on the glass lens shouldn't hurt. But back here, I definitely would not recommend it. That is not where you want to put that. Alright, let's go back into the truck. This channel is also welcome to children, adults, and anyone. So whether you are a minor and don't drink, I hope you don't drink if you're a minor, or if you're an adult and are drinking a beer, cheers. Hope you all are enjoying your lovely weekend so far. I'll drop the gauge cluster down there. And clean all that dust in there. It's all dirty. Look how nasty that is. Oh yeah. Nasty. Just need it cleaned up. I use a couple of these wipes probably. Ugh. All that dust and dirt sitting in there. Look at all that. Yummy. Might have to lick it after. Nah, thanks. Grab another one. That thing is dirty. Look at all that. All nasty and yucky. All in the nooks and crannies. It's dirty all around. Oh yeah. A little dirty there. A little dirty there. A little dirty there. A little dirty everywhere. I mean, I didn't clean this dash very well last time I put this rebuilt gauge cluster in there, but cleaned it now, right? That's all that matters. Not a clean freak, but it's nice to have it clean back there, free from all dust and debris. Let's go ahead and plug this gauge cluster back on in and turn on the lights and see what it looks like. I'm not going to show that on camera because I want to surprise you guys at the end with the color I chose. So I'm going to do it that way. Make sure I install this correctly without damaging anything. There. Make sure that sits all the way down so it calibrates correctly as I put this back in. I'm going to install the other one first. That'll be installed last for that reason. Oh, it's really hard to get in there. Alright. Make sure it sits at 0. Plug this on in there. Once I find the plug, man, tight. I'm going to pause you guys, and then once I got it plugged in and screwed in, I'll get back with you. Alright, I tested them out. Everything is in working order, so let's go ahead and reinstall the 4 7mm and the bezel piece with the 2 7mm. And the plugs behind the bezel. And then once nighttime comes around, which will be in a couple hours, not too long from now, we'll go on that little test drive. Maybe I'll even bring my dad along. My dad really wants to see this as well, so looking forward to that. Don't want to get that stuck back there. Let me get this trusty magnet. Look at the magnet. Do it this way. This is the way to do it. And then screw some of it in. And I'll get it like that, and then we'll grab the 7mm and screw it in from there. There we go. Ah, there it is. Alright. Don't want them too tight, but get them all nice and snugged up in there. That should be tight enough. That one's good there. That one's good. I'm gonna tighten this one. I forgot about this one. Alright, let's get started on reinstalling this bezel piece, shall we? Install the wait start light. Simple as that. Reinstall the fuel auxiliary switch lights. Push this on down in there. Finesse it a little bit. It's gonna need some finessing. There we go. That's that side. There you go. That's that. Put that screw in over here. Get it started. The other side started. These are very fragile bezels, so you really don't want to tighten these much. It doesn't take much to get these tight and snug on there. You don't even really need this ratchet to fully tighten it down. Maybe like that much of a turn. You don't even really need to at all. It ain't coming loose. I actually need to get this piece for this side. This side, that side's missing. I haven't had feel the need to invest into that side. It's not really an important piece, but this is starting to wear out on me too, so getting one of these at some point wouldn't be such a bad idea. But for now, that'll do. Let's wait till the night time to test everything out. And yeah, I'll see you guys at nighttime. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sure you can, but we're in the truck. It's nighttime out. Ta-da! There is the new dash lights. It's supposed to be white all around, but unfortunately, due to the film behind the gauge cluster itself, the white LEDs wound up being green around here, and the little arrows, I don't know, I'm drawing a blank on what you call them. The needles. The needles are white, and then around the needles, I don't know if you can see, it illuminates white a little bit, and the rest is green as usual, but it is like 10 times brighter than it was. This is probably how bright it was originally, and then it was missing the 3 bulbs there, but now it is like 10 times brighter, and that parking brake works now. The light, which blows my mind because it didn't before. And little do you know, the auxiliary works again. So this needle, tanks are full. I just filled it up, by the way. I took it out already. That's why it was running. the needle works again. So yay, we're good to go there. Let's go ahead and take it for a little spinner on the block, and yeah. Strike going on. Very neat. I'm out here usually always driving the speed limits unless there's a justified reason to go faster than it. 90% of the time there's usually never that case, but in today's world sometimes it's nearly impossible to. The way people drive. I do need to do front brake pads and rotors on this thing. I mentioned it in the post that I made earlier on, but the truck's belt is squealing. I ordered the pads and rotors from Napa. They should be coming in Monday. So it's either going to be me doing it or I'm going to have my buddy do it. We'll see. If I wind up doing it, it's gonna be probably on this channel. At least I plan on doing it on video. But it's pretty loud. I need to get a mic at some point. But and I'm gonna goose it real quick, give you guys a little sound clip. She got, that's full throttle. So a lot of people are gonna say it's slow. I'm gonna tell you right now, for the fact that this is not a race car, it's a daily, or it was my daily for a while, and I'm not all about going fast, especially since this isn't NASCAR. And I'm gonna goose it real quick, give you guys a little sound clip. Enjoyed making this one. Until the next one, stay tuned for everyday content on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Please be sure to tell your friends, your family, and whatnot. Enjoy and like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.